I almost destroyed everything. Not through a failed rocket launch, not through a bad business decision, not through any of the dramatic failures the media loves to cover. I almost destroyed everything through 5 invisible habits I didn't even know I had. They were killing me slowly, draining my energy, sabotaging my relationships, clouding my thinking, stealing hours, days, years of my life while I blamed everything except the real culprits. And here's the terrifying part. I considered these habits normal. Everyone around me had them too. Society had convinced me they were just part of being alive in the modern world. They weren't. They were chains I had put on myself. And the day I deleted them, everything changed. Tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly what those 5 habits were, how I discovered they were destroying me, and how removing them transformed my life in ways I never thought possible. Pay attention, because there's a very good chance you're carrying the same chains right now. We spend so much time trying to add things to our lives, new habits, new skills, new goals, new systems. We're constantly searching for what to put in, what to build on, what to accumulate. But I've learned something that contradicts everything self-help culture teaches. Sometimes the greatest transformation comes not from what you add, but from what you remove. There are habits hiding in plain sight that drain more energy than any positive habit could ever restore. There are patterns so normalized that we don't even see them as problems. There are behaviors stealing our potential while we focus on everything except the real thieves. I was carrying 5 of them, and I had no idea until my life forced me to look. Here's what nobody expects to hear from me. I wasn't always the person you see running multiple companies and solving impossible problems. There was a version of me that was scattered, reactive, and slowly drowning in patterns I didn't even recognize. I remember a specific night in 2008. SpaceX had just failed its 3rd launch. Tesla was bleeding money. My marriage was falling apart. I was running on caffeine and terror, unable to sleep, unable to think clearly, unable to see any path forward. And in that darkness, I had a realization that changed everything. The problem wasn't my circumstances. The problem was me. The habits I had developed were making everything worse. I was pouring water into a bucket full of holes, wondering why it never filled. That night, I made a decision. Instead of adding more effort, more hours, more intensity, I would subtract. I would find the holes and seal them. It took months of painful self-examination, but eventually, I identified 5 habits that were silently destroying me. And when I deleted them, my entire life transformed. The first habit I deleted was starting my day with my phone. For years, the first thing I did every morning was reach for that glowing screen. Before my eyes fully opened, before my brain fully woke, I was already consuming emails, news, messages, the world's problems flooding into my mind before I had decided what I wanted from the day. I thought I was being productive. I was actually being hijacked. Every morning, I was handing control of my mental state to whatever happened to appear on that screen. A negative email could ruin my mood before breakfast. A news headline could spike my anxiety before I left the bed. I deleted that habit completely. Now, my phone doesn't exist for the first hour of my day. That hour belongs to me, to silence, to intention, to becoming the person who will handle whatever comes rather than reacting to whatever arrives. That single deletion changed everything about how my days unfold. The second habit I deleted was saying yes to protect other people's feelings. I used to say yes to things I didn't want to do, things that didn't matter, things that actively worked against my goals just to avoid disappointing someone, meetings I didn't need, projects I shouldn't have taken, commitments that drained me while adding nothing of value. I was so afraid of being disliked that I was slowly eliminating myself. I deleted that habit completely. Now, no is my default answer. Not because I'm cruel, because my yes means something. When I commit fully, and I can only do that if I'm not drowning in commitments I never should have made. The third habit I deleted was consuming news constantly. I used to believe I needed to know everything happening in the world. I would check headlines dozens of times a day, convincing myself it was necessary. Important, responsible. It wasn't. It was addiction dressed as duty. Most news is designed to provoke emotion, not inform action. I was filling my mind with problems I couldn't solve, outrages I couldn't address, fears I couldn't escape. and it was stealing my ability to focus on problems I could actually change. I deleted the habit of constant news consumption. Now, I check news once a day, briefly. The important things still reach me, but my mind stays clear for the work that actually matters. The fourth habit I deleted was replaying past failures. I used to run failures on a loop in my mind. Every mistake, every wrong decision, every embarrassing moment. Playing again and again like a movie I couldn't turn off. I told myself I was learning from the past. I wasn't. I was torturing myself with things I couldn't change while missing opportunities right in front of me. I deleted that habit deliberately. Now, when my mind drifts to past failures, I acknowledge them once, extract any lesson that remains, and redirect my attention to present action. The past is data, not a prison. I refuse to serve a sentence for crimes I've already paid for. The fifth habit I deleted was waiting to feel ready. This was the most dangerous habit of all. I used to wait for confidence before taking action. Wait for certainty before making decisions. Wait for the perfect moment before beginning important things. That wait was infinite, because confidence comes from action, not before it. Certainty comes from experience, not before it. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It never has. I deleted the habit of waiting. Now, I act before I feel ready. I decide before I feel certain. I begin before the moment is perfect, and, strangely, the confidence and certainty I was waiting for started showing up after I moved, not before. I want you to understand something. These 5 habits weren't dramatic vices. They weren't obvious problems. They were quiet patterns that society had normalized completely, and that's what made them so dangerous. Nobody told me that checking my phone first thing was stealing my mental sovereignty. Nobody warned me that saying yes to everything was a form of self-destruction. Nobody explained that constant news consumption was anxiety disguised as information. I had to discover these truths through pain, through failure, through reaching points so dark that I was forced to examine everything. But you don't have to learn that way. You can look at your own life right now and ask the hard question. What habits are quietly draining me? What patterns feel normal but produce nothing? What behaviors have I accepted that are silently stealing my potential? Here's the truth nobody tells you about transformation. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about unbecoming everything you're not. The person you're meant to be is already inside you, buried under habits that don't serve you, hidden behind patterns you never chose, waiting to emerge the moment you remove what's blocking the way. I didn't become more capable when I deleted these 5 habits. I uncovered capability that was always there. I stopped draining the energy I already had. I stopped sabotaging the focus I already possessed. And that's available to you right now, not through adding another morning routine, not through reading another self-help book, not through finding some secret technique, through subtraction, through looking honestly at what you do every day and asking which of these habits are chains I never chose to wear, then deleting them one by one until the person you were meant to be finally has room to breathe. I want to leave you with this. You are not your habits. You are the person capable of choosing them. Every pattern you carry was installed at some point, by society, by circumstance, by unconscious repetition, and anything that was installed can be uninstalled. You have that power, right now, tonight. Pick one habit, just one. The one that resonates most strongly with what you just heard.